Victim mentality, victim consciousness, whatever you want to call it. What can we do about it? How can we fix it? This video, we're going to find out how to fix victim mentality. Over the last couple of days, I've produced some videos on what is victim mentality and what signs that you're having a problem with victim mentality. So this video, we're going to look at how to fix it. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. So let's get on with it. In the last video, I basically gave 5 signs that you're in victim mentality or victim consciousness. Now, I could have given 10 signs, I could have given 15, but I think these 5 are pretty good, okay? And what they are is, number 1 is not believing yourself. Number 2 is inner critic and overdrive. Number 3 is self-sabotage. Number 4 is being controlled by others, both explicitly, as in dominated by others, and implicitly, as in running after others and ignoring your own needs. And number 5 is feeling bitter and resentful, okay? So what I kind of finished off the last video on was that although that's a list, you need to get beyond the list, because we have to look at what's beyond the list. And the 2 most important factors there will be, because we all have a certain amount of inner criticism or victimhood, unless we're super empowered, which is rare, or the person is bipolar and they're at the high phase. The important thing is, if your inner critic is way out kilter and you're self-sabotaging a lot, that means you got some big problems. And what's really happening there is you got needs and wants, and you can suppress your wants. You see, you might want a chocolate bar, but do you need a chocolate bar? You might want to play the guitar, but do you need to play guitar? Well, some people do need to play the guitar. Writers, for example, a lot of writers say they can't function without writing because they need to be writers. They need to express themselves. Some people need to work in nature. Some people need to work long hours. Some people need to take it easy. Some people need to have a lot of company. Some people need to be on their own. There's a difference between what you want and what you need. You can ignore your wants. You can't ignore your needs. So if you're wondering, well, how do I know what's the difference between wants and needs? Try ignoring them and see how you get on, okay? What you need will dominate. And what we have is these little things called subpersonalities. And they tend to be passive-aggressive because you are in the driving seat. So normally how a subpersonality will work, it will give you a thought into your head. It'll give you a suggestion, an intuition, a good feeling, and you might, try that out, okay? It works like that. But if it's been ignored a lot and suppressed a lot, it will start self-sabotaging, which means things like not paying your bills on time, not putting the handbrake on the car, not switching off the gas, so you end up burning a pot, forgetting to put the washing machine on so they have no clothes in the morning, etc., etc. 101 different ways to upset your life. And if you're self-sabotaging a lot, well, that means you've got a passive-aggressive subpersonality, or a whole bunch possibly of passive-aggressive subpersonalities. If you want to get maybe a picture in your mind of subpersonalities, there was an Inside Out movie, I think it's a cartoon movie, 2016 or 17. It gives a good image of the subpersonalities. But basically subpersonalities, and why are the subpersonalities upset? And why is the inner critic out of control? Well, the basic problem with victim consciousness is I don't have what I need because I'm a victim. So somebody has to rescue me. Somebody has to fix me. The other day when I was talking about what is victim mentality, okay, I mentioned from transactional analysis the Karpman triangle. Take a look at it here. The Karpman triangle shows that in the victim triangle, you have the victim, the persecutor, and the rescuer. And the problem with somebody in a state of victim consciousness is that they feel that they have no power. Somebody has to keep rescuing me because I'm persecuted. Who am I persecuted? I might be persecuted by another person. I might be persecuted by society. I might be persecuted by lack of money or any endless number of things that are causing me problems. Whatever you feel is causing you the problem. Because if you're in a victim state of consciousness, it will be external. Whatever is causing me the problem is persecuting me, and I can't fix it. And the problem here is that ultimately only you can fix yourself. First of all, your happiness lies in your heart, in resonating with things which are important to you. So get back to those subpersonalities. Every human being has gifts and abilities. And when you're bringing those gifts and abilities out, you feel good. A very simple example will be falling in love. Probably most of us have had the experience of falling in love. When you enter the beginning stages of a loving relationship, and we have this thing, you're wearing, pink colored glasses, it's actually real because you're seeing everything differently. And the reason why you're seeing everything differently is that you are fulfilling a very deep need of intimacy. And it feels good. Now, after a while, of course, complexities come from the relationship and the honeymoon phase must end. But the point is, it feels good. If you take up a new hobby and the empowerment of a new hobby, or moving to a new city or new job, whatever it is, when we do things which are filling inner needs, the moment we start fulfilling an inner need, a big inner need, we feel expansive, we feel good, and we feel empowered. When we look at life and what life is about, there's two options we have in life. We have disempowerment and we have empowerment. So it's all about trying to empower ourselves. And the problem being the victim is, how can you empower yourself if you believe you don't have what you want? You don't have what you need. So the solution to your life problem is always inside. You do have what you want. You do have what you need. Now, you might be saying, well, hold on a second here. I need friends. I need a lover. Maybe I need some kids. I need a nice car, a nice house. This. Yeah, of course you need all these things. I'm not saying you don't need these things. But the actual seeds of happiness are going to come from doing what's in tune with your heart. Okay? So each human being's heart is tuned slightly differently. So, of course, we need all sorts of things to fulfill ourselves. But remember earlier I said there's a difference between needs and wants. So you can forgo certain wants, but you can't forgo your needs, all right? And some of the things I just listed there could well be your needs, but some could also be your wants. The key thing is you have to pursue the needs. It's very important to pursue the needs. And ultimately, you have to find out what that is. Now, fulfilling those needs could well involve other people. Say, for example, having an intimate relationship, finding that perfect other person to share your life with. Obviously, you need somebody else. You can't do it on your own. But who are you going to share your life with? What kind of a person are you going to attract into your life? You have to turn within and you have to feel, I'm worthy to attract that person. You are like a fisherman or a fisherwoman or a fisher person. You have to pull that person to you. You have to attract that person to you. And if you don't believe in yourself, you probably won't attract that person. Or if you get that person, the relationship will be all over the place because you'll be playing the victim and you'll be disempowered and you'll want them to be all sorts of things for you and you want to be all sorts of things for them. And they will feel claustrophobic and they will feel that you're all over them and they will feel they'll be pushing you away because you're so needy and clingy. Okay? So to have a healthy, ideal romantic relationship, it has to be that you are empowered in yourself. You feel worthy of that relationship. That you don't have to cling with that person. You don't have to dominate that person. Nor do you have to be dominated by that person. And you can find your voice and be yourself. All of these things have to take place to have a healthy romantic relationship. So I'm not saying you don't need external things to fulfill your needs, but what way you're going to fulfill them has to come from within. It's like matchmaking. Somebody tries to matchmake you, do usually try and pick the wrong person because they don't know what you really need. Okay? So the first key to solving victim consciousness is to start with realizing is that I have what I need in my heart. Now, it might have an outer projection. It might involve other people, like romance, businesses, etc. But it begins with me. I have the solution to my life in me. I am happy with myself. I'm happy with me. And when I'm happy with me, I will attract into life the people and the opportunities that I need. Okay? So it begins with this rather than looking for as soon as I have money, as soon as I have romance, as soon as I have kids, I'm going to have all these things. And when we try and live our life through other people, whether it be dominating a romantic partner, or being a doormat to a romantic partner, or dominating our kids, or trying to, dominate a business situation or running after fame or whatever it is. We're disempowering ourselves or being victims. So we have to begin by recognizing that ultimately what I need is in me. And I must respect my inner subpersonalities. And the difficulty in life is it's hard to know, well, what do I need? Well, you find out because you'll see certain things resonate. If it makes you feel like more expansive and bigger, it's probably going in the right direction. Well, unless, of course, it's drugs and stuff like that, which will feel high and then low. But I'm saying in general, if it makes you a bigger, better version of yourself, it's good. And we get lots of people say things like, I found the love of my life and I became this bigger, better version of myself. Yes, you did, because you fulfilled the need within yourself. Did that person make you better version of yourself? Yes, they did, but also it's because it was resonating. That need for a relationship was there. And when you were fulfilling that need, it helped you and hopefully helped them as well. So that's the first key to overcoming victim mentality, is that the answers lie in me. I might need other people, but ultimately it's from me. I need to tune into myself and see, who am I? What am I interested in? What are my needs? What do I need to do? And then I need to go out and pursue them. This is very important. The victim will never pursue. I'm not looking for a rescuer, and I'm not looking for a persecutor. I'm not looking to blame somebody. I'm not looking for someone to save me. I am finding out what I need, and I'm going out and I'm pursuing what I need. That is the key to overcoming victim consciousness. So when you take the position that the answers lie in me, and that also leads on to another thing, which is finding your voice. Now, I had a lot of difficulties this young man. I think a lot of people have. So finding your voice and speaking your truth. And I found when I was young, like my early 20s, for example, I was extremely shy and I couldn't speak anything to anybody. And I used to let all sorts of people dominate me and all this sort of stuff. And it took a long time for me to feel worthy of speaking my truth, my thoughts, my feelings. And that's what finding your voice. Finding your voice is speaking your truth. Now, what I mean by speaking your truth is it's not necessarily an objective truth. It's rather a subjective truth. What's true for you. And of course, it could be technically objectively wrong. But you're willing to speak what's on your mind. That's your truth. And if you're honest, you could also be willing to realize that that might be objectively wrong. I might be very opinionated about something. I might be very convinced about something. And I might have some stage faced the facts that I was wrong, or maybe I was judgmental, or maybe I was prejudiced in some way. But I should be able to speak it. I have to get it out. And for a lot of people, they get stuck with this. And there's a thing you might have heard like Hatha Yoga and all this stuff. They have the chakra system. There's a thing called the Throat Chakra here. And so people can't find their voice. The throat chakra is not open. It's like they get stuck. We even get some people get this thing whereby they get this lump in their throat. They go, oh. Any kind of restriction, physical restriction in your throat is a hysterical symptom of a psychological problem. You got problems in your throat, you got problems of speaking your truth. You got problems of finding your voice. All need to find our voice. Even if it's bullshit voice, we need to find our voice. And then we can also turn around and say, well, that was bullshit. But at least we found our voice. At least we've spoken our truth. It's the beginning. Because we have to get what's inside, outside to find ourselves. Okay? So it's very important to find your voice. When you're finding your voice, this will immediately kill off the control by other people. For two reasons. The explicit one, people controlling you dominate. When you find your voice, you're going to go and you're not going to take the abuse. You say, bullshit. You go off and find your own slave. You go off and I'm doing my thing. Immediately, the dominators will stop dominating. The second thing is, if you find your own voice, you'll realize, why am I running after these people all the time? The implicit control of other people. Because you're finding what you think and what you feel, and you'll start ignoring the noise from outside of what other people are saying and feeling, and you'll find your way forward. So finding your voice gives you control, okay? So if we think about it this way, realizing that the answers are within gets rid of self-sabotage, and also the inner critic will reduce, okay? Because the inner critic won't have anything to criticize, because now you're in the driving seat. The more you are a victim, the stronger the inner critic. The more you're empowered, the smaller the inner critic. When you find your inner voice, your truth, nobody can dominate you. And this leads on to the next thing, of course, which is feeling bitter, feeling unhappy. When you realize that you are responsible for your life, when you realize that the answers lie within, and when you realize that you have to find your own voice, you will stop feeling upset that other people are not making you happy. And you will strive to do what you have to do. And you will take responsibility. And when you take responsibility, when you're no longer expecting other people to fix you, and when you're no longer demanding, guess what? The resentment goes. What's resentment? Resentment is you believe other people have what you don't. When you realize that they could never fix you anyway, that goes. The other one is feeling bitter. We feel bitter because we feel we're hard done by. And again, bitterness goes when we realize that we're responsible and that we're in the driving seat. The final one is believing in yourself. Again, when you look within, you will believe in yourself, or you'll start believing in yourself at least a little bit, okay? You'll start realizing that the answers are within rather than without, and I have to find my own voice. And I suppose the third part we can put here is proactivity, because you must then act. So there's two things you've done so far. One is realizing that the answer is within me. I need to find out what I need. Second, I need to find my voice. And the third is I need to act in the world, okay? In the Indian meditation systems or Indian philosophy, you could say, they call this world the karma loka. And what you mean there is that it's the place of karma, the place of action. You can meditate for a few hours. After a while, you have to get up, you have to eat food, you have to go to the toilet, etc. You have to do stuff here. And the number one thing that people make as a mistake is not doing. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes, but you must do, okay? Procrastination. As long as you're procrastinating, you will not believe in yourself. You must do things. And yes, you will fail, but you can fail forward and you can fail towards success. After a while, if you keep failing, you'll actually solve the problems. So these are the three solutions for victim consciousness. Number one, the solutions are me. And I need to learn about myself, journey, etc. I've talked about this in other videos about reflecting and so on, diary writing, self-help, therapy and so on, reading good books, etc. You need to look within yourself and find out what you want. And more importantly, what you need. Because you can sacrifice your wants, but you can't sacrifice your needs. Number two, you need to find your voice. Because you get this from all the self-help stuff. Finding out, speaking your truth, even if it's at times caustic and abusive and wrong, but you're getting out of your system. It's what you feel, it's what you think. And after a while, the causticness will come down as you clean out the bullshit and you actually express your feelings. And good will also come as you speak your own truth. But also remember that you're responsible. And if you don't play the victim, you don't want to be a victim and like spewing at everybody. Now you're just like spewing at everybody. Oh, this person is this, that. No, I'm not saying you should go around just spewing at people. I'm saying start speaking your mind and get it out of your system. And it's very good to write diaries and stuff for this. And clean it out of your system. And then over a period of time, the hurt will go and you'll just be speaking what you honestly feel, what you honestly think. And the third thing, of course, is proactivity, okay? Being proactive, very important, because you can cure the other problems. You can cure the self-sabotage, the inner criticism, the control by others, but you'll still have belief in yourself unless you prove it. Proof of concept. You got to go out there and prove it. And you might fail, but you got to get used to failing. You got to fail forward and fail towards success, okay? So that's the third thing, is being proactive. So you want to fix your victim consciousness, find out that what you need is inside you and you must fulfill your needs. Find your voice and be proactive. And then over time, you'll become more and more and more empowered version of yourself. Yes, you'll probably still play the victim sometimes, but less often. And if you take, for one, to say in the other videos about self-reflectivity and awareness, is try and become aware of when you're playing the victim, when you're not, and own up to it as well, okay? So just try these three things. Look within, find out what you need, and start working towards fulfilling your needs. Find your voice and be proactive. That's it for today. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time.